some kind of a base model, but when someone asks you the the version number, it will be version 7. Okay, the Windows 7, not like Windows 8 or 10. It will be Windows 7. So the correct answer here will be that it is Windows 7 OS operating system that the client is using, and the browser that the client is using is Internet Explorer. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Like what all things you can kind of figure out when you use it. Okay. Now, can someone else let me know what is the language that this person, whoever is visiting this website, knows about? Uh, Pardon, I didn't got that.
That is English.
Yes. So yeah.
US
So it's a,
English.
yeah. So it's a thank you for repeating that answer. So yeah, it's an English language that the person is normally like maybe is opting for, and they are trying to they understand that more properly. Okay. Now in the same way, I will give you another header. Okay, this time it will not be a. And can you just before I proceed, can you just tell me is it a request header or a response header?
So is that request one? Request.
Yes, it's a request one because we are. If you see get request here, so we are requesting. The client is requesting, so it's a request header. Okay. Now tell me over here the next part. Can you just quickly tell me, guys, like if it is a response header or a request header?
Is it response?
Yeah, correct. Okay. So can you just tell me that a few questions? Was the page successfully returned by the browser, by the server in this case? How you are able to figure that out?
Because it is accepting and yeah, the HTTP is having 200 response codes, so that's why.
Yes, correct answer. So it's basically we saw that okay, it's 200, so that means the page was successfully returned. Okay. Now I wanted to know what kind of file is returned by this server. Can you just quickly tell me that answer? What kind of file is written by the server?
Text file, sir.
Pardon again?
Text HTML.
Yes, yeah. So the content that is returned, what has been kind of told by the server like text.html, text slash HTML. So the content type is HTML. So most probably the HTML content is being returned, but that's not actually the case over here. It is kind of quite misleading over here that it is text HTML because we are not seeing the content as text HTML. Maybe I think maybe the thing is maybe it is kind of compressed because of the ggif algorithm. So once we decompose it, maybe it will come as like HTML tag and the normal source code that we see for a website that is start with HTML tag. Okay. So now can you quickly tell me what kind of server it is? Like what kind of server it is? Like what's the software that is running in the server?
NGINX.
Yes, correct. Yes, so the server is NGNX and the version is 0.7.67. So as an attacker, like suppose I get this response, what I will do is that I will try to find out like if there's any bug in this, if there's any vulnerability in this server. So what I can do is that let's say I will say nginx version, and let's say I'll go 7.67, 7.67, 7.67 vulnerability. Okay, and if you see that there are multiple kind of like vulnerability in that, but we don't want to figure out, but it seems like there are a lot of hits. What we can do is that 7.67 we can just must include, and yeah, so it's if you see like it definitely has some kind of vulnerability. So if a server returns this kind of version information, like if so we can kind of figure out okay, what kind of vulnerability we can utilize to get, let's say, get remote code execution on the server. Let's say get the hold of the server remotely. Okay, so that's one thing. Now let me just quickly ask quickly other questions. Okay, now can you guys tell me what is the coding, as I told like previously, when I was setting up a CGI web server in my Remnex host, if you recall, I was running Python internally. Okay. So the Python code that was running in the server was actually processing my request, if you recall. Now, with this kind of header, can you tell me what kind of scripting language is being used by the server at the server end, which is processing your request? What kind of scripting language is being used? Can you just quickly tell me about that?
PHP, sir.
Yes, so it's PHP. The reason for that is definitely the X powered by PHP, and then we also, if you even if you don't have this field, you can kind of look at the set cookie header where you say that okay, there's a PHP session ID. Okay, so that definitely means that okay, there's some PHP script kind of running in the background, and definitely like now three questions that I want to ask. When the file that it is kind of so let me just quickly write that down, the three questions. Quickly, the file that is being returned, when it was like last modified, So that's one thing I wanted to know. And the next thing I wanted to know is, let's say, how big is the file, and when was this response sent? When was this response received by the client? So these are all details. So can you quickly tell all these answers?
It was dated on 29th October.
Yes, correct. And how big was the file?
21825.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Last modified is 1st January 2000.
correct. So that's actually all the correct answers. So now I'm pretty happy that you guys were able to answer all the correct answers that I asked. So thank you for that, and thank you for participating also in this one. So now, guys, I am pretty sure like you are more confident in kind of what do you say, analyzing any kind of header and kind of get the understand what's the meaning of that. Okay. And now one of the things that I was trying to showcase to you guys earlier was that the response code. So if I just go to this open browser, let it again open, it will take some time. Once it's done, I will kind of showcase how that HTTP response code will look like let's say 200 or 404. I'll quickly look at that. Okay. So I hope now this HTTP response code is done. And now I will kind of jumping to a different topic now. Okay. So I will take a 2 minutes break. And thank you again for kind of providing the answers, and most of the answers were actually correct. So thank you for that. So give me just 2 minutes, guys, and I will quickly grab some water and kind of come back. Okay. Okay, guys. So now we'll resume our discussion. And now the thing is that we will now jump to HTTPS. Okay. So that's something, another important thing that we need to kind of understand, the HTTPS part. And maybe what we will do is that we will wind up our session for today, for let's say at 6:30 itself, like 5:30 itself, my time. So maybe in next 10 minutes, we'll kind of start a fresh. So, but for now, what my plan is that in next 10 minutes, let's at least start the discussion for HTTP.